My Guffy is my friend who has no time to spend fixing their life. I'd say I'm just kidding, Guffy, but we both know I'm in the same boat, and we've got a long way to go before we're sipping margaritas on the shuffleboard deck high above Tel Aviv. But first, let's take a look at how far we've come. I'm done putting graphics in my videos, so don't expect that. Graphics are for lazy audiences. You're better than that, Guffy. You listen while this is on in the background, and yet somehow keep up with all my aliases. One will be released soon enough, but previously on Kyleoki, back on a cloud, CIA Shonen. I just come back from a weekend of fun and chores at my mom's. This was after a month of getting MK Ultra, which is shorthand for fucked with mentally. Just so happens to be my exes and my initials, but we're just gonna let that go. To save myself from forces taking the form of voices seemingly projected from cameras, I had mentioned being the Holy Ghost, which I am. Earth was the center, Sun was the center, then we got me, the black hole. But I'm not arrogant like them because there's other black holes, and the cosmic background radiation isn't conscious on account of exploding. I don't know how I got trapped in this body, but there's no guarantee killing me wouldn't make me stronger and more vengeful. See, it actually started when I killed myself and met up with a prisoner inside what I thought was a black hole. Turns out I had to create my own sort of singularity, and that's why I have the connection I do. No sky daddies, no mother's natures, just good old-fashioned human consciousness expanding past realms of possibility, or stress-induced schizophrenia. But that's been a thing for almost a decade in my life and is usually incredibly pleasant. This month of June made me realize things are not gonna get better with the thought patterns we have on the loose. So the government or whatever gets word of this and starts experimenting and drives me away from everyone I know. Sometimes I type messages to the mass surveillance networks on text drafts, and a few of those got sent. Sorry, Luke and Heather. I had plans to meet up with my mom, go to a Juneteenth thing with some friends, keep my job, all thrown to the wayside. I was told friends were getting kidnapped, curb stomped, and leading a revolution. None of which happened. What did happen was intense convulsions for about 40 days or longer. I considered it a war of attrition until I crashed my car. Someone had pulled out from a stop sign without seeing me. I figured I couldn't live like that anymore and decided to make some videos about it. At first, I was coming up with dialogue on the fly and cutting out the convulsions between the takes. When I got home from my mom's, I decided to type out a script. It helped. This has been like medicine for me, and now I'm starting to apply for jobs again. I don't have much longer in this book, but wherever I go, you have a new chapter or pocketbook to reflect on. You can binge watch this or use these videos as singular daily meditations. I'm putting together a playlist of all the songs I used, and you'll be able to buy the unedited green screen footage on my website and Patreon. No two people will have the same experience with what I've created, and so far, it was never the same for more than a few hours. Pretty neat, huh? So I think it's time to reveal myself. Sup, Never Nude Tube? It's not a ploy. This alias is called Nameless Faceless, and the S's are dollar signs, the A's are at signs, so within the Nameless Faceless, it looks like ass with the at signs and dollar signs. Pretty neat, huh? Astute Guppy might say, hey, you still have the cowboy hat and hoodie from last season. You're not gonna Cloud Atlas the hacker kiss back? More like hack that hack to bits. This costume has a samurai sword so you can tell them apart. It just so happens I don't pull it out often. Nameless Faceless is just a funny thing to call myself, so it's not an alternate personality. Of the neurodivergence I have, split personality is not one of them. I set boundaries. Sometimes I'll let some wayward spirit take my body for a spin, but I take responsibility for their actions. If your friend crashed your car, you'd still have to deal with insurance. And society has to deal with crazy people like me. People who are smarter than the average worker bee, but don't want to be. I don't hate society, but I do hate who runs it. And by hate, I mean would go out of my way to avoid or emotionally harm them if I were close. Yes, I mean the British, but it's so much more than the British. And here's the thing. Some of you get it. You get the whole we are the world eating Chick-fil-A and Panda Express, 57 flavors of Jesus to choose from, but not if you don't want to thing. And that's great for you. Please stop asking me to agree with you about that being a great way to live. The world has always had nomadic freaks. Vaudeville, the circus, what people refer to as gypsies, the 12 tribes for 40 years or so. The Mongols is a pretty brutal example. Today we have Cirque du Soleil, strip clubs, and musicians. I honestly think America got it right on this one. Send them to the desert. Vegas, baby. It's literally called Death Valley. Africa does this too. If you're homeless or crazy, they just dump you off in the desert. But you can't just stop with human trash. Start making shopping lists. Arc, Goodwill, Discreet Industries, all of these thrift stores throw away a certain amount of goods. Truck them off to the desert with the crazies. You may think this is a far-fetched idea, but it's literally the reservation system the United States did to the Native Americans. Well, you're so great at working the land, work the shittiest parts. All I'm saying is the Native Americans aren't crazy, despite one being named Crazy Horse. I am! I was raised in a dumpster, started crawling in at age 6, and started setting it on fire at age 12. I'm not fit for this world, but nor am I really into committing crimes. But I'll take trash. I'll take beat up cars and broken bottles. I like collages. I think Slab City is neat. So for the violent criminals, Britain is a great solution. If someone is killing and raping someone, send them there. But if someone is suicidal or just doesn't want any part in society, maybe Area 51 or something would be a cool place to send crazies. Maybe some canyon somewhere. Like, if racists can go to Bozeman, surely there's a place in the desert to send the trash. And this doesn't have to be an immediate thing. It could be, hey, you've been locked up for theft 4 or 5 times. Or, hey, you've been on the street for years now. How about we take you where you can get some privacy? Most places have deserts. Africa's got them, Asia's got them, America has the one. Who knows? Maybe they find a way to make it work. Because humans poop, and poop fertilizes, and trash has a bunch of microbiomes we're not aware of. So maybe us people who have learned to get along with people who maybe can't always communicate could use a place to be ourselves without the hassle. I'm friends with liars, I'm friends with people who do drugs, and most of all, I'm friends with a lot of people who kinda ran out of hope. What better way to spread hope for a better world than by getting the suicidal people to dig around in garbage dumps and just bring them some water sometimes. If they die, well, that's what they would have wanted. If they change their minds, okay, there's a path for that. Maybe you're on garbage delivery for a while. Either way, it's not a prison. This isn't a work camp. It's just a place where things die and you can decide if you want to be one of them. It's also the ideal place for dual grounds, but this season has just begun. And if anyone's wondering about troubled youth, again, we're sending them to the Coast Guard to manage the people who would escape from open-air prison Britain. So to remind everyone that I'm a sane individual, and one possible happy ending for me is a room at the UN where I can come up with sick jokes for delegates, I'd like to end on a note about land trusts. Land trusts are like credit unions, but instead of investing your money in stocks or bonds, your money is invested in property management. I firmly believe that investing with the community allows equity to be built faster. If you want to have a say in the world you see around you, regardless of your mental state, I suggest an investment in local land trusts managed by people you trust. Thank you for your time, Guppy. I know I don't say it a lot, but I'm trying to be nicer to you. Apparently, we're in this together. I still don't trust you, but I'll plant some crap next to you in the desert. Hanson and Hanson for President 2024. Why choose between 2 when you can have 2 out of 3?